Let's talk about Conor McGregor. It's a name that, let's be honest, is synonymous with both record-breaking triumph and just shocking controversy. He's easily one of the most electrifying figures combat sports has ever seen, a guy who completely changed the game for what a fighter could achieve. But his story, well, it's a complicated one, defined by these unbelievable highs and some really devastating lows.
And this quote? This was his mantra right from the get-go. It was way more than just a catchy phrase. It was a genuine declaration of intent from this super ambitious fighter from Crumlin, Dublin. You know, he famously left a plumbing apprenticeship for the brutal world of mixed martial arts, and it was all because he had this unshakable belief that he was destined for greatness.
But before the private jets, before the sold-out arenas, McGregor was just another prospect, grinding it out on the European circuit. He was honing his craft at Dublin's Straight Blast Gym with his coach, John Kavanagh, really building the foundations of what became his unique and lethal fighting style. You know, that wide, karate-style stance and that sniper-like left hand that would pretty soon take the world by storm.
And the world really started to take notice during his time in the Cage Warriors promotion. Between 2011 and 2012, he just went on an absolute tear, racking up an 8-fight winning streak. And he wasn't just winning, he was dominating. He once scored a knockout in just 4 seconds. He won their featherweight championship in June 2012, and then, just 6 months later, he added the lightweight title. He became the first European professional to hold world titles in 2 weight classes at the same time.
Yeah, a feat like that doesn't go unnoticed for very long. So, in February 2013, the call finally came. The Ultimate Fighting Championship, the biggest MMA promotion in the world, signed the charismatic 2-division Irish champion. The takeover was about to go global.
So, McGregor didn't just join the UFC. He arrived with a prophecy. He started calling himself Mystic Mac, and he would predict not just his victories, but the exact round and the exact way he was going to win. It was this masterclass in psychological warfare and self-promotion, but it would have meant absolutely nothing if he couldn't back it up in the cage.
And oh, did he back it up. He just exploded onto the scene with a first-round TKO, that's a technical knockout, in his debut. From 2013 to 2015, he carved this path of destruction right through the featherweight division with 5 straight wins. After grabbing an interim title, he set up this massive unification bout with the long-reigning and what seemed like an invincible champion, Jose Aldo. And the culmination of that entire rise was just shocking. After all the talk, all the promotion, it took just 13 seconds. A single, perfectly timed left hand knocked out Jose Aldo, a champion who hadn't lost in a decade. To this day, it's still the fastest finish in UFC title fight history. The prophecy was fulfilled. But conquering 1 division? For McGregor, that wasn't the end of the story. It wasn't even close. It was just the beginning. He immediately set his sights on this unprecedented achievement, making history by capturing a 2nd UFC belt.
He even came up with a name for it, Champ Champ. Now, after a brief but pretty legendary 2-fight detour against Nate Diaz that showed both his vulnerability and his resilience, he moved up to the lightweight division. His destination? A date with destiny at the iconic Madison Square Garden.
I mean, the scale of this moment was just immense. On November 12, 2016, in front of over 20,000 people, generating a record-breaking $17.7 million gate, McGregor put on an absolute masterclass against Eddie Alvarez. He became the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles at the same time. He was, officially, the Champ Champ. So after reaching the absolute pinnacle of MMA, McGregor's focus started to expand. He ventured into this unprecedented financial territory, and when he finally did come back to the octagon, a bitter new rival was waiting for him.
In 2017, he did the unthinkable. He crossed over from the octagon into the boxing ring for a mega fight against one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time, the undefeated Floyd Money Mayweather. I mean, this was a total clash of worlds, pitting MMA's biggest star against the king of boxing.
Now, McGregor lost the fight by a 10th round TKO, but the financial victory? It was undeniable. His reported purse was a staggering $130 million. The money fight absolutely lived up to its name, becoming one of the most lucrative combat sports events ever. And that payday was really just a springboard. McGregor used his fame to build a business empire, and the biggest piece of that was his proper No 12 whiskey brand. The The sale of his majority stake in that brand netted him a fortune, making up the vast majority of his earnings and launching him to the very top of Forbes' highest-paid athlete list in 2021.
So when he did return to the octagon, his star power was just off the charts. His 2018 fight against his new rival Khabib Nurmagomedov completely shattered the UFC's pay-per-view record, that's the number of people who bought the event at home, drawing 2.4 million buys. But the night ended in a loss and just descended into chaos with that infamous post-fight brawl, which really felt like a dark omen of things to come.
And this is where the final phase of McGregor's career has become a stark contrast to his incredible rise. It's really been defined less by fighting and more by inactivity, a devastating injury, and a growing and very serious list of legal troubles outside the cage. Inside the octagon, the momentum just stalled. Frequent retirement announcements created all this uncertainty. And then, in his third fight against Dustin Poirier in July 2021, he suffered a catastrophic broken leg, an injury that has kept him on a long layoff from active competition ever since. But it's his actions outside of the sport that have truly begun to cast the longest and darkest shadow over all of his incredible accomplishments.
If you look at a timeline of the legal incidents, it shows a really disturbing pattern. In April 2018, he attacked a UFC fighter bus in Brooklyn. In August 2019, he pleaded guilty to assaulting a man in a pub in Dublin. And this pattern all culminated in November 2024, when a civil jury found him liable for the 2018 sexual assault of Nikita Hand.
So following that civil trial, an Irish High Court jury ordered McGregor to pay nearly €250,000 in damages to Miss Hand. On top of that, legal costs added about another €1.5 million to the bill. It was a legal and reputational blow of immense magnitude.
So this leaves us with this deeply complicated picture. On one hand, Conor McGregor completely redefined what was possible for a fighter in terms of fame, wealth, and achievement. He brought more eyes to the sport than anyone before him, period. But on the other hand, the recent chapters of his story are filled with these serious legal and personal failings. So what is his ultimate legacy? Is he a generational talent who changed the game forever? Or is he a cautionary tale of greatness undone? Well, that remains the big unresolved question.